Lysosomes. Lysosomes are simple bag-like structures which are filled with the digestive enzymes. They digest the material which enters into the cell. So we can say they digest foreign material which enters into the cell from outside. They also digest old cell organelles, old and dead cell organelles, so they helpful to remove cellular debris. Sometimes when cell is damaged or getting too much old or any kind of injury, then in such of the conditions, from the lysosomes, the enzymes are released in uncontrolled way. So these are also known as suicidal bags. In such condition, they digest their own cell. So lysosomes are the bags which are filled with the lytic enzymes, digestive enzymes. Mitochondria. These are thread-like structures present in a cell. These are the largest cell organelle in case of the animal cells. Mitochondria are also known as powerhouse of the cell because it involves into the cellular respiration. Cellular respiration, these are the site of aerobic respiration and they produce ATP, adenosine triphosphate during the aerobic respiration. So these are also known as powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondria is double membrane bound structure. It contains its own DNA and ribosomes. So mitochondria because contain its DNA and ribosomes, so it is also known as semi-autonomous cell organelle. Semi-autonomous cell organelles. Plastid, it is a double membrane bound cell organelle. It is unique feature of a plant cell. Inside the plant cell, there are a number of membranous structure, bag-like structures are present called as thylakoids. These thylakoids arrange one upon one in the form of stacks. A stack is known as a granum and a fluid which is filled inside the plastid is known as stroma. Granum and stroma. There are two internal structures. Along with these granum and stroma, DNA and ribosomes are also present in the plastid. So plastid is semi-autonomous cell organelle. Now look what is the importance of the granum and stroma. Stroma fluid, granum membrane-like structures which are present in the form of stacks. For actually photosynthesis occurs in the two steps, light reaction and dark reaction. The granum is the site of light dependent reaction of the photosynthesis, so it is known as light reaction, site of light reaction. Stroma, in the stroma there are a number of enzymes present and these enzymes are associated with the dark reaction, light independent reaction. Plastid is of two types, chromoplast and chloroplast. Chromoplast provide different colors to our flowers, different color to our plants, petals to attract the insects, and it is also of green colored, so it synthesizes the food material in the presence of sunlight. chloroplast. Now leucoplast. Leucoplast, it is colorless, so it is not involved into the photosynthesis. It is not a part of photosynthesis. It stores the food material like in the form of oil globules. So leucoplastid is the unique feature of plants. It synthesizes the food material by the process of photosynthesis. It also stores the food material. It provides different colors to the plants to attract the insects. Vacuoles. Another very important cell organelle. It is single membrane bound cell organelle. It is larger in size in case of the plant, central large vacuole. In animals, it is present in small sized. A number of vacuoles are present in animals but smaller in size. Vacuoles are filled with the watery fluid known as cell sap. This cell sap stores various food materials like the amino acids, organic acids, sugars, proteins, and it also stores waste materials. In case of the plants, it stores a number of the waste materials. The covering or membrane of the vacuole is known as tonoplast. What is the name? Tonoplast. Vacuoles in case of the plants also helpful into the turgidity. फूलाने में cells फूली रहती ना, to turgidity, right? So it also helpful to maintain the osmotic concentration of a cell.
Cells are the smallest living units of an organism. All cells have three things in common, no matter what type of cell they are. All cells have a cell membrane, which separates the inside of the cell from its environment, cytoplasm, which is a jelly-like fluid, and DNA, which is the cell's genetic material. There are two broad categories of cells. The first category is eukaryotic cells. They have organelles, which include the nucleus and other special parts. Eukaryotic cells are more advanced, complex cells, such as those found in plants and animals. The second category is prokaryotic cells. They don't have a nucleus or membrane-enclosed organelles. They do have genetic material, but it's not contained within a nucleus. Prokaryotic cells are always one-celled or unicellular organisms, such as bacteria. So, what are organelles? Organelle means little organ. Organelles are the specialized parts of a cell that have unique jobs to perform. Let's start with the nucleus, the control center of the cell. The nucleus contains DNA, or genetic material. DNA dictates what the cell is going to do and how it's going to do it. Chromatin is the tangled, spread out form of DNA found inside the nuclear membrane. When a cell is ready to divide, DNA condenses into structures known as chromosomes. The nucleus also contains a nucleolus, which is a structure where ribosomes are made. After ribosomes leave the nucleus, they will have the important job of synthesizing or making proteins. Outside the nucleus, the ribosomes and the rest of the organelles float around in cytoplasm, which is the jelly-like substance. ribosomes may wander freely within the cytoplasm or attach to the endoplasmic reticulum, sometimes abbreviated as ER. There are two types of ER. Rough ER has ribosomes attached to it, and smooth ER doesn't have ribosomes attached to it. The endoplasmic reticulum is a membrane-enclosed passageway for transporting materials, such as the proteins synthesized by ribosomes. Proteins and other materials emerge from the endoplasmic reticulum in small vesicles, where the Golgi apparatus, sometimes called the Golgi body, receives them. As proteins move through the Golgi body, they're customized into forms that the cell can use. The Golgi body does this by folding the proteins into usable shapes, or adding other materials onto them, such as lipids or carbohydrates. Vacuoles are sac-like structures that store different materials. Here, in this plant cell, the central vacuole stores water. Going back to the animal cell, you will see an organelle called a lysosome. Lysosomes are the garbage collectors that take in damaged or worn-out cell parts. They are filled with enzymes that break down this cellular debris. The mitochondrion is an organelle that is the powerhouse for both animal and plant cells. During a process called cellular respiration, the mitochondria make ATP molecules that provide the energy for all of the cell's activities. Cells that need more energy have more mitochondria. Meanwhile, the cell maintains its shape through a cytoskeleton. The cytoskeleton includes the thread-like microfilaments, which are made of protein, and microtubules, which are thin, hollow tubes. Some organisms, such as plants, that are photoautotrophic, meaning they capture sunlight for energy, have cells with an organelle called a chloroplast. The chloroplast is where photosynthesis happens. It's green because it has a green pigment called chlorophyll. Plant cells also have a cell wall outside of their cell membranes that shape, support, and protect the plant cell. Animal cells never have a cell wall. There are many other unique structures that only some cells have. Here are just a few. In humans, for example, the respiratory tract is lined with cells that have cilia. These are microscopic hair-like projections that can move in waves. This feature helps trap inhaled particles in the air and expels them when you cough. Another unique feature in some cells is flagella. Some bacteria have flagella. A flagellum is like a little tail that can help a cell move or propel itself. The only human cell that has a flagellum is a sperm cell. In summary, remember, eukaryotic cells are plant and animal cells with a nucleus and membrane-enclosed organelles, while prokaryotic cells are unicellular organisms without these things. All cells have a cell membrane, cytoplasm, and genetic material. And even though only plant cells have chloroplasts, both plant and animal cells have mitochondria.